Hi everyone, and welcome back to day 22 of Christmas in September here at Stamp with Anna. And today we're going to start our next series of 3 cards using a different stamp set. And today's stamp set is Cookie Cutter Christmas. And this is, I believe, a carryover from last Christmas. And it's in the, not the holiday catalog, it's in the annual catalog. And I had it and I just never used it. So, I must say, the gingerbread is my absolute favorite of all of the images. I like the gingerbread. Not crazy about the Santa, but I do love the gingerbread. And the little Eskimo girl, she's cute, and the teddy bear has a lot of potential. And it has a coordinating punch, which will punch out the figures, and some bow ties, some circles, and some little white little dots, and a little heart. And if you take this punch and tip it upside down, it will cut out that reindeer. So I think that's pretty cool. So this is the card we're going to make today. And it's 2 little gingerbread, a man and a woman, and they're on a baking tray, which is made out of silver foil with some scoring. It's a very, very simple card to make. So what we need for paper is our card base is made out of real red, 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Our matting piece is Old Olive, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and then our designer series paper is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and this is from an old stack called Candlelight Christmas. And like I said, I've been trying to really be good and use up all the paper that I've accumulated over the years. I'll tell you, I have more paper than I'm ever going to use in a lifetime, so I'm trying to really use it. But if you don't have this, you can certainly use any kind of paper that you like. Some of the new papers in the catalog this year are great for Christmas. And as you can also see, this one I cut horizontally, and this one I cut vertically, and this one I cut horizontally. I'm hoping that when I put my card together, it still looks as nice as this one does. But I think it will. I just didn't have enough to make it go the other way. It wasn't wide enough. So, but I'm going to use it anyway. So we have that. Then our foil piece is cut at 2.5 by 4 3/4. We're going to do some scoring on that. Then I have a scrap of crumb cake for the gingerbread men. And then just a little strip of white. Now, I don't usually, when I'm cutting cards, I don't usually keep little strips like this because I tend to just end up with a bunch of them. But because I've been doing so many cards lately, I have a lot of these strips sitting on my desk. So this is a good time to use it. I'm going to use that Whisper White to make my bows. So the first thing we're going to do is attach our designer series paper to our mat. And I know over the course of this series I've been showing you how to save some paper and take out the insides. Although I don't have anything that I need to cut out of here for my project, I can certainly put this into my trimmer and just cut out a square so that I have that for next time for another project. And you know what? I think I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to take this piece of paper right here. I'm going to bring up my blade, and I'm just going to cut out the center of it. It'll be a decent size cut. It'll be a decent size piece, and it'll go into my scrap pile, my scrap box, which I love. And when I need a small piece of Old Olive for a project, if I need to punch something out, I'm going to have that. So, I mean, you can certainly use the whole piece, but I'm sure I'm going to use it for some Christmas card this season. So this is going to have a really, really small border around it. And there we go. Now, I'm also going to make my bow on this right now. So I'm going to use this woven satin ribbon. It's in real red. And I'm not making a bow, a real bow. I'm going to make a bow like this. And instead of having tails hang down, I made it long to wrap around there. And the reason I did that is because I wanted it to mimic the bows that's in, that's on the gingerbread men. So I'm going to bring in my bow maker, which I absolutely love. I picked this up at, I think it was CKC, Creative Keepsakes Convention in New Hampshire many years ago, and it just makes the perfect bow every time. Just center it and you have the option of making all different size bows. I love this. It's great when I have to make a lot of little bows for a project. Okay, and there we go. And I'm going to just take this and I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. And I'm going to come up about this much. And normally I do this last, but because my card has some dimension to it, I don't want to be turning it over after I have my tray on it with my gingerbread men. So this way it's all done and I don't have to worry about smushing anything. So I'm going to just put that there and then put it aside. Now I'm going to make my baking tray. So I'm going to bring in my corner rounder. We just have, and I'm just going to round all 4 of these corners. And I'm sorry, I know this paper is going to glare in the camera. This is the quarter rounder punch that came with the Project Life products. They don't carry it anymore. They don't have any corner rounder, but any brand will do. And then I'm going to bring this, bring in my score tool, and I'm going to score at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch on this side. Flip my paper over, score at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch on that side. And now I'm just going to fold these over as if they were the handles on a tray. How simple was that? Now I'm just going to attach it to my card. And that's going to go right about here. Now I have to do my stamping. I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat because these stamps are photopolymer, and this is a piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp 2 gingerbread. You could do crumb cake on white, but I liked the way it looks, crumb cake on crumb cake. I just got more of a gingerbread feel for it. Now that little strip of white, I'm going to come in with my real red, and I'm going to stamp 2 little bow tie. Alright, now before I punch my gingerbread out, I'm going to take my white jelly pen, and I'm just going to go over all these places right here. And the reason I did it before I punched it out is because the paper is larger and it's easier for me to handle. If it was a small little punched out shape of a gingerbread man or woman, it might be a little harder to hold on to. But this way it works nicely. And I think the pop of white really looks nice. And it just takes a second to do. All right. And I'm going to come in with a little punch and punch out our gingerbread. I just love stamps that have coordinating punches and dies. I like punches better than dies, but storage-wise, dies obviously are better because they take up less room. But anything that keeps me from having to fussy cut is a hit with me. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to punch out my bow ties. There's one. Just tear this piece off. Piece of paper is a little small on the other side here. Bring in my pierce tool and move it. I feel like I'm playing that game Operation. I'm showing my age. Some of you probably have never even heard of that game. All right, and punch. And there's my second bow tie. Now I'm going to put my gingerbread on my tray using dimensionals, because I did want to give them a little lift to make it appear like they are nice big fat cookies. And you can position them however you want on the tray. I just chose to offset them a little bit. I didn't want them standing up straight. So this little guy is a little sideways, and this gal is going to be straight up. I'm going to take my bows, add a glue dot, give him a bow tie, and give her a pretty bow in her hair. And how quick and easy was that? There we go. Now this stamp set does have some nice sentiments that I will put on the inside. I'll put a piece of white paper in there. And I would probably use this one, Warm Heartfelt Greetings for a Very Merry Christmas, because my cookies are straight out of the oven and nice and warm. Or I could use this one, Wishing You a Season as Sweet and Joyful as the Friendship We Share, because the cookies are sweet. So either one of those would work fine. So here we go, our cookie tray with gingerbread men. So I hope you enjoyed this, and come back tomorrow for day 23 and another project with the cookie cutter Christmas stamp. If you have any questions about this, contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.